Hello and welcome to the 30's Strength Training Workshop. I'm glad you could join me today. So what we'll be doing is we're doing the 10 exercises that I've put down in the notes. So they're all fairly basic exercises, but what you'll be noticing is that I'll do a few modifications just to show you sort of a harder level and an easier level on each of those. So if you do have some weight, that is great. If you don't worry, because you can use your own body weight. But what you will need is a mat. It's going to be bringing down to the floor for some of them, and a bottle of water if you want it as well. So we shall get started now. If you haven't done a warm-up, just stop the video now, and what I suggest is some arm circles and some pull backs, and then you can get some knee raises up and possibly some taps out, just so we've been working the arms and legs just a little bit so they can get warmed up and ready to go, and then you can join me in. So again, this first one is going to be a squat, basic exercise. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you without weights first and then with weights, but it's all basic powerhouse muscles. So again, so what we're going to do is squat down and back up. So if you notice, I'm way back on my heels on that. You can even lift your toes off the floor if you're just a bit worried about trying to stay back on your heels. You won't fall back. Everyone thinks they are, but they won't. Okay, and then you get that squeeze to the top. Being back on my heels encourages my hamstrings and my glutes pushing up from the back of my heel all the way up to the top to standing, as I say, using those big powerhouse muscles. What I can also do on this is I can grab a set of weights and I can do that. So it's still the same basic squat. You have to really watch, get your abs pulled in so you're not going to lean back at the top. And again, it's add that added extra weight, you can get that push up. So if you've got a ball, you know, like a slam ball or a heavyweight ball, and then it's that push up each time. So same basic exercise. Okay, lovely. We are going to do a lunge exercise. So what we're going to do is, on my lunge, I drop down straight into the middle. So I'm up on my toe at the back, my abs are already pulled in, a little bit of a softness there on my knee, and I drop straight down into that lunge. If you notice, and then straight back up to the middle. My shoulders do stay over my hips. Okay, that's good. And then what you'll notice right at the bottom of my dip is that I have got my leg, the bottom part of my leg is parallel to the floor. And then you push up. And then you get the most effective part of that lunge, the push up through the front leg, and also my weight, which is over that back leg in that low position. What I can do is, when I get a little bit more advanced, I can come up, lift a knee, go back down, and then come up. So again, it just becomes a little bit more aerobic. I can also add weights to this as well if I want to. Again, it's all a basic lunge and back up. What I can also do on this one, and again I can add weights to this just to challenge my body, is to come over into a curtsy lunge. So again, when I drop down to my curtsy lunge, it's definitely not behind my leg, it's gone over, and the work is here on the side. And come up, down, and come up. And then you can also do one of each. So again, you're just targeting each side of the body, getting back up each time. So it does become a strength exercise, but it's also fairly aerobic as well, depending on how fast you do it, and if you've got weights in your hand as well. Okay, my next one is going to be a tricep kickback. Again, you can use tricep dips. So a dip would be on a chair that you've got that is nice and stable, and you can do a tricep dip, or you can do a tricep kickback. The dip, just make sure that your, as I say, your chair is nice and stable on your mat. And for beginners, I would be doing here with my knees quite bent. But do make sure that your bottom stays close to that chair, and then get the lift up all the way. Down, lift up all the way. If I'm more advanced, I can have my legs out. So again, all the weight now is have to be pushed through my arms each time. But the most important thing on any tricep that you do is that you get that arm nice and straight at the elbow. So I'm dropping down, and then I'm getting that lift back up again. I should show you the tricep kickback. Doesn't involve a chair at all, with or without weights. So again, it's nice handy exercise to have. So again, what you can do is just make a fist with your thumbs in or out, whichever you prefer. Just lean forward so I know that my shoulder and my elbow are about the same height. I come back to my hips each time. I push out nice and strong. I come back in, pushing out nice and strong. So if you're a beginner, try with this, and then you can build it up as you get a little bit stronger and add some weights. So if I wanted to add weights to this, again, those weights are just on the back of my hips there. My abs are pulled in and I'm getting that lift up and that lift up each time. So again, each time they're going straight, all the way out. Again, and then try not to swing it, because as soon as your elbows start moving around, you have lost the tricep action. The elbow has to stay in the same place each time, and then you get the lift up. And you'll certainly feel it when you know when you're getting it right. You've got that kick out all the way back out. Okay, I'm going to show you a side crunch. So again, I'm targeting my obliques, front and back of my waist. So I can add this to a crunch as well. So I'm going to come down, squeeze to the side, and then squeeze to the side. And squeeze to the side. Okay, so even without any weights, I can feel that work right across my obliques, front and back of my waist, giving an emphasis to that waistband and that waist shape. So I'll be just going either side and squeeze. Okay, well done. If you want to be a little bit more adventurous, you can do that with a weight. So again, what I'm going to do is down, squeeze and over. So again, it's a slightly different, it's a twist now. So again, I'm still working those same muscles, or I can still get the crunch down to one side. Good, so again, this can become quite aerobic, using my legs, using my abs, using my arms, all at the same time. Okay, well done. You can do a squeeze and then a turn. So again, it's a turning or a crunch that's using those obliques. If you notice that my hips stay to the front, when my top half moves around by using those obliques, front and back of waist, and my zip and hollow to keep me forward. Okay, well done. Okay, we're going to come down onto the floor. So again, I'm going to be in a bridge first of all. And when you get into your bridge, just make sure that your feet are underneath your knees there. Too far out, you might end up with hamstring cramps. So I'm going to bring them in. My zip and hollow is on. Okay, so I'm going to peel myself off the floor. So again, I have to use my hamstrings, my glutes, my lower back to get to this point here. What I'm not doing is trying to get up as high as I can and arch my lower back. I've got my abs pulled in at the front, so I'm going to do that up and down. Good, so feel you peel yourself off the floor each time, you roll yourself back on, and just get used to doing that correctly, rolling down and rolling up. If you do a Pilates, you'll know the roll down and the roll up. Okay, and get that lift and back down. As you get a little bit stronger, what you can do is do a one-legged one by putting your other leg across and doing that lift up each time. And again, your arm position can be down on the floor. If you're new to the exercise, if you feel that you want that expanse there, you can put your hands out on the floor. Or if you're used to the exercise, they can go across. So again, you've got very little other stability apart from your own body pushing you up. Okay, and what you can also do as you get a little bit more advanced, keeping your bridge up, same height on both hips, staying there as you move around one leg, and we can come out to the side, which again will work your back even harder there and back in. So again, we can do a little L. People do my classes will know this is one of the exercises that we do, that L shape. You can have your hands out at the side, but again, you have to stop from turning over or dropping that hip by using the rest of your body. Okay, you can also use weights with that one as well, which is going to really work those abs for you and that back. Okay, we're going to come round, and again we're going to still use our core, but this time in a stabilisation position. So we're going to do a plank. So again, many different versions of planks. I can be in a parallel plank where my back is parallel to the floor, my abs are pulled in, my zip and hollow is on, And then what I can do is I can be in an incline position, so I've tucked my hips in slightly. So depending on where you are in the program, beginner or intermediate. Okay, so I can come back into that parallel. For a more advanced version, I can be up on my toes, or I can come right up into a full bridge. So again, my shoulders are back and down, my head is long, or my neck is long, should I say, not my head. My neck is long, and then I'm holding that bridge. And again, what you can do is then you can start moving yourself around on it, either on your elbows or on your hands. As we get a little bit more advanced, we can be tucking under and back out. So again, I'm keeping that stability in the middle the whole time. So any of those you can try. So this is me with my other leg. It just goes across to that opposite elbow. I don't twist my body to do it. I just bring that knee in each time. Okay, lovely, good. Okay, we're just going to come up. I'm going to show you the wood chop. So what we've got here is we've got a diagonal action going across your body with your zip and hollow on, with or without weights. I'm going to show you both. So my first one is going to be a squat with just my arms going across. So I've zipped and hollowed, I've got my belly button pulled in and down, and I know my arms have gone diagonal, but I've not followed them. They've just gone diagonal and across. Now you can do a different version of this where you go down. So I have turned my shoulder in and then out, in and then out. So again, you can do that wood chop. That's the wood chop you can do in a squat. You can also do it in a lunge position. It's about that diagonal action whilst keeping your abs pulled in. So I'm just going to show you with one weight. So again, this makes it a little bit harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and across. So again, I'm not looking at that weight, I'm just looking straight forward. I've got that squat, I've got that lift up. Of course, the other side looks like that. I can also do that twist one that I showed you before without the weights. I can go down, I can come up, and I can even extend this a little bit further by coming down, come up and twist. And then I go back down, come up and twist. Good, so I'm still getting that. Turning in slightly if you want to, or you can keep it nice and straight and then get the lift. The way you're going to feel it is through the core in the middle there. Rib cage down and in, don't throw the back to do it. Okay, I'm just going to do a few on the other side. The twist one, where I come up with that weight. The twist one where I come up on the leg. So I get a little bit more action on my glute there. Down and back up. And just get that little twist each time. Or I can do that hold down there and turn. Hold down and turn. And I'll leave it up to you what weights you do. But if you have got the variety of weights at home, you can start working your way up those weights to do it. So good work. Okay, we're getting back onto the floor again. And I'm going to do a sit up. And as I promised, the oblique action as well on that sit up. So sit up, curl up, crunches, they're all parts of that long abs going from my rib cage there down to the pubic bone at the front, giving that forward flexion. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is just going to do that little crunch in. So on the crunch in, what I'm doing is really pulling my belly button in. I'm getting that crunch, trying to keep relaxed on the top half. Okay, and then what I can do is I can put my hands beside my head, and again, if you try and keep your elbows out nice and wide, put your feet back on the floor and do a sit up and a sit up. Again, so really squeezing those abs in. Okay, this can be out a little bit further, and I'm getting that lift. What I can do is with a weight. So what I can do is I can do a sit up, and as you get stronger, all the way up, roll back down. So again, it's like that bridge. Head goes on the floor for this one, the weight goes over your head. Lift it up, lift up the weight. And again, as you notice, I do the stop, because so many times people throw the weight and then throw themselves up as well. I want you to be slow. So again, you can put your head back on the floor, lift your head up, lift your weight up, then roll back off roll off the floor, and then roll back onto the floor. Okay, so that's just using those long abs through the middle. I can also use a little small crunch in the middle there, using my top half and my lower half, or just the bottom half, or just the top half. Just practice all of those for those long abs. So like I said before, what I can also do here is that I can do an up and over, so I can put one hand down on the floor and squeeze across my obliques. So this time it's my left elbow going up towards my right side, and make sure you are peeling yourself off the floor and coming up and over as well. It's not just the elbow moving, the elbow stays out on the end of your arm there. Okay, to make this a little bit harder, I'm just going to show the other side. We've got knee up and squeeze across and squeeze across. So hundreds of different variations you can do on sit-ups. You can do them up with different leg positions. So again, what I can do, again, you'll be noticed doing that if you join my classes here, is that you know that I sometimes take the other leg off or have the other leg out, either on the floor or off the floor, which makes it a lot harder to do your oblique sit-up from there. Again, this other hand just on the floor, out of the way, and get that squeeze. But what is important about this is the up and the over, using that oblique each time. Okay, well done, good. Okay, we're going to do the up off of the floor this time. I'm going to do the shoulder press. So bring yourself up off the floor, round onto your front, then stand up. Okay, so my shoulder press, I can go for just that heavier weight and do here with my knees just nice and soft, my abs pulled in. I'm going to do that shoulder up, push, and it's a slow back down into the waist. Don't let it just travel really quickly back down into the waist. I'm getting that shoulder lift each time. You might want to do one shoulder at a time. Drop it down, lift it, and there. So we get that little bicep action as well. There, and get that lift. There, and get the lift. Good. Okay, this time use my heavier weights on this, but of course what you can do, using no weights at all, but again, just being focused. Again, nice soft knees, hands out to the side. Got that little halt sign there, and then what I'm going to do is lift, squeeze back down. So you get that lat pull back down on your lats, but also my shoulders are being pulled back down as my arms do the lift. So I've got that whole action going all the way through there. Get that squeeze, each time. Lovely, good, and get that feel squeezed down. And even without the weights, you'll know once you've done the repetitions, those shoulders will start to ache, but also you'll get that work underneath that shoulder blade. Okay, on my last one, that low squat to lift. Okay, so what I can do, I am going into low squat, so I have to protect my back on this. So feet just hip width apart or just outside of your hips. I'm going to use my heavier weights for my first one. I'm going to go down to my low squat. So again, my back is nice and straight, my shoulders are pulled back down and in. I'm just going to do a little bicep curl there. Then I get the lift through my glutes. Then like that shoulder lift I've just showed you. Okay, down, get that squat. So again, don't have to do it fast, get that lift. Especially if you're doing it with a heavy weight. Push back up each time and then get the lift. Good. Okay, if you want to go a little bit lighter on that, what you can do with your weights, you can do different arm actions. So again, I'm going to do that squat. Squat, you can come straight up, you can come out. That one, that's good, because we've got out, just using more of the shoulder area. You can see I've done that little circle each time. Just getting up and out. I can do the squat and the Y. So this time really working my shoulders as well as I'm getting that low squat to lift. So again, lots of different lift positions that you can get and get that wide. Good, okay, so you got the impression we can do lots of different arm movements with that low squat. So again, the lower half getting me up there, upper half stabilising me, and then getting the lift. With or without weights, it will work for you. Okay, so that's the 10 exercises Again, just gives you lots of things to think about. It goes in more in depth, obviously, in the classes in the Fit. You'll see all of those incorporated into conditioning classes, some of the HIIT classes as well, and of course I do an arms and a back one, always incorporated in that strength work. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I just gave you a little bit more of an insight on doing those exercises correctly, and if you want to join me, it'd be lovely to see you along on the classes. Okay, so see you again soon. Bye for now.